Former Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley is getting eviscerated for doing something pretty heinous, signing her name on Israeli artillery shells. So over Memorial Day weekend, Haley traveled with Danny Danon, a member of Israel's parliament, to an IDF forces post in northern Israel. Danon posted photos on social media of Haley signing artillery shells and included the messages, "Finish them," and "America loves Israel." So there it is. Interesting how Nikki Haley claims to speak for America when most people are actually against what's going on in Gaza, most Americans. So now look, it's about the most ghoulish thing that you can do as a politician, signing bombs that are going to be used likely to kill innocent children. Let's be honest. So far, 35,000 Palestinians have been killed. That includes babies. A North Rafah tent encampment was bombed on Sunday. That killed at least 45 people, mostly women and children. These were 2,000-pound bombs. Now, Israel says, "Oh, no, we didn't actually do that." No, those are 2,000-pound bombs that were being dropped on tents in a place that Israel has designated a safe area for civilians. Now, if you're dropping 2,000-pound bombs on it, well, it doesn't really seem very safe for civilians. I mean, there were literally children that were burned to death and decapitated by bombs that we paid for. Okay, we sent them the bombs. Those were bombs that were Boeing. Okay, that's what Joe Biden gave to the IDF. Our bombs given to Israel by Joe Biden being used to decapitate Palestinian babies. I kid you not. This is what's going on. In fact, a doctor who had witnessed this said, "In all my years of humanitarian work, I've never witnessed something so barbaric, so atrocious, so inhumane. These images will haunt me forever and will stay in our conscience for eternity." But as I mentioned before, the IDF's like, "Oh, no, there were no bombs. It was a mistake." Yes, you know what? And actually, it was either a mistake or Hamas. That secondary explosion from Hamas, their weapons did it, wasn't us. Even though afterwards, or I should say at first, Netanyahu was like, "Oh, tragic mistake, very tragic, yes." And then there was another camp that was hit as well on Tuesday. So, and I believe the same camp got hit twice by airstrikes and shelling, killing 37 more people. So this time they said, "Well, we did that. There were 2 Hamas there, so we had to take them out." Don't worry, though. They were using the camp as human shields, so everything's okay. No, it's not okay. I mean, what good are human shields, by the way, if you're bombing the camps anyway? It's not like Hamas doesn't already know that. 35,000 civilians, okay? Look, the IDF, pretty certain they don't actually care about limiting civilian casualties, okay? So getting back to Nikki Haley, though, seeing her sign one of these shells is disgusting. I mean, as if you didn't think that Nikki Haley couldn't go low enough with her endorsement of Trump. She goes lower. But again, not a surprise for me. She told reporters in Israel that America should not be withholding weapons from the nation. Well, again, there's no evidence that that's happening. In fact, Biden has repeatedly put out weak red line after weak red line, said, "Oh, well, maybe we'll consider not selling them the weapons or giving them weapons." Oh, it turns out we did. We're going to give you the weapons, including the 2,000-pound bombs that have been flattening tents. In fact, here's her quote: "America needs to do whatever Israel needs and stop telling them how to fight this war. Until you've lived it, you can't say how to fight it. You're either a friend or you're not a friend." Yes, America needs to stop telling Israel what to do, how to fight this war. Well, I would say that as long as we're giving them weapons and material, and as long as, literal children are being burned and decapitated, yeah, we should have something to say about that. Then again, you could point at our own strikes. The United States has been involved in Afghanistan, Iraq, that have killed innocent civilians. And that's guess what? Our government's really hypocritical for calling out if they call out Israel for killing civilians, because guess what? The United States government has also killed many civilians. Yes, I know. I'm criticizing my own government as well. That's what it means to be, a leftist who actually cares about people's lives, who actually cares about, not doing war crimes. Because guess what? Our government is pretty guilty of doing war crimes in our name, and it's pretty disgusting. But getting back to Nikki Haley, right? When she says, well, look, until you've lived it, you can't say how to fight it. Really, how long have you lived in Israel, Nikki? I'm kind of curious, right? I would love to see her answer that question, okay? But here's the thing, though. No one that has been, commenting on this war, none of our politicians that have been so staunchly on the Israeli side have ever been in the shoes of the Palestinians, okay? In fact, there's only a couple that are Palestinian in our government, okay, Rashida Tlaib, and she gets called anti-Semitic. Oh, you're a terrorist, pro-terrorist. No, she's the only one who actually knows what's going on. And look, the Palestinians prior to October 7th have been dealt with repeated incursions and bombings by the Israeli military, and as well as terrible conditions. They have lived in an open-air prison where Israeli settlers have illegally moved in, kicked people out of their homes, and took over. Okay? And there have been, again, civilians that were killed, Palestinian civilians that were killed, many, many more of them than Israeli civilians have been killed. Because, yes, they have been killed as well, but it's been disproportionate. That is the issue, okay? So, now, Haley got some responses. First, former Human Rights Watch Executive Director Kenneth Roth said, quote, Nikki Haley shows who she is. And she's a gross person. Actor John Cusack says, anybody who signs a bomb is a sociopath. Aylin Lee Green, who's director of the Jewish Arab Movement for Peace, Equality, and Social Justice in Israel, says this, Dear Americans, Nikki Haley visited us today. She went to the West Bank settlements and then went on to sign a bomb. Finished them. Just disgusting. Can you please take her back? We already have one Ben-Gvir, and we don't need your filthy, death-promoting politicians as well. Thanks. Hey, look, to be fair, we didn't want Nikki Haley either. But, unfortunately, it's what we have. And some people were propping her up as, oh, she's the answer to Donald Trump. She's the Republican answer to Donald Trump. Really? No, it's just as cruel and destructive as Trump would be. In fact, he himself has also said, yeah, they need to finish it. Meaning the ethnic cleansing that's going on in Gaza. Dr. Omar Suleiman said on social media, while Americans watch Israel burn Gaza alive and Palestinian children are beheaded, Nikki Haley writes love notes on bombs that drop on civilians. Let the world bear witness to your moral depravity. True. I mean, very, very true. And just horrible. Now, another noted just how much money Haley collected from AIPAC. That's over $1,555,000. And AIPAC is going to drop so much more on politicians, both Republicans and Democrats, by the way. They're dropping tons and tons of money to defeat Cori Bush. Members of the squad. There's more. Yanis Varoufakis, the former Greek Minister of Finance and somebody who's pro-Palestinian, says, quote, Biden provides the shells, Republicans autograph them. Oh, that's absolutely devastating. And adds, the U.S. political class is united in its complicity with this genocide. I can't disagree. Another says, this is Alec Karakatsanis, sorry, name just tripped me up today. He's an American civil rights lawyer and wrote that Haley's message was, quote, one of the most depraved things I have ever seen. Hey, what do you expect from Nikki Haley? Decency? Humanity? No, she's a Republican. And it's not just, again, Republicans here It's our politicians in general who, at this point, don't care at all about Palestinian lives.